is your name, if you could spell that?
Tom Anderson, Anderson.
Awesome.
Well, you know, I actually never really worked as a professional in the business, except very briefly at a small station in Walnut Ridge, KRLW KCAZ. I worked there right out of college as an announcer and just general gopher. Soon after I joined the Navy and went into officer candidate school, spent 12 years in the Navy. Met a young lady in 1992 who agreed to marry me, and it came down to a choice of being married or being at sea, and I decided to stay married and left the Navy, landed in healthcare and insurance, and that's where I've been the rest of my professional career. The realization that it was a tough economy was part of my decision to go into the Navy. We were not unlike it is today for the graduates of this program. And in the early 1980s, the country was in recession, economic downturn. I mean, but I joined the Navy though because I wanted to see the world. I wanted to see more than soybeans and rice fields in Arkansas, and I got the opportunity to travel to all the 7 seas and several continents and lots of small nations. I really got to get my itchy feet onto some real interesting places in the Navy days. Oh, I got plenty of stories. We could be here for hours telling that. You know, just a synopsis, things like 1985, the ship was on a med cruise and we were in Naples, Italy, and got a ticket to go to the Vatican and got to see midnight mass, had VIP seats and sat right on the aisle. Pope John Paul passed close enough I could have touched him if I'd reached out to do that. You know, sailors always think about the wild things of life, the Liberty ports and stuff, but I'll never forget the transit across the Atlantic in 1984, and somewhere out halfway between Europe and the United States, standing out at night and looking up and actually seeing the Milky Way for the first time with no ambient light around it to dissolve or make it faded. A sight I'll never forget. Have faith and hope that even though you may not think you're going to get the perfect job, if you apply yourself, find something to get yourself started in your career, opportunities will present themselves if you do a good job for your employer. The radio television program gave me the courage to stand in front of people and talk. It gave me the skills of critical thinking to look at information, decide whether it's true, partly true, or absolutely false. Being a news reporter, being trained for that, I learned how to analyze that information and make value judgments on it. And then I think that the thing that I learned most of all on this campus was how to write, and not just write words, but to write succinctly into a specified deadline, but still communicate the story or the message. And interesting is later on in my career, I worked as an auditor. Those same skill sets applied, and actually I had to use them every day in that job. And rose up to the ranks of the position of a senior audit product manager, had teams of people working for me and helped those people develop those skills themselves. And so it came full circle, completely out of communications. Oh, gee, now you're going to make it tough on me. It's interesting. I was first approached back in September of 2012 about coming back to Arkansas State, and I'm actually pretty hesitant about doing this. I kind of question still what value can I bring, and finally Dr. Alumni mentioned to me, he said, well, Tom, you can provide an example of what else you can do with a degree. And so I started thinking back to a lot of memories, and I've had a flood of them, but I mean, there's a lot of good stories. Unfortunately, a lot of them aren't G-rated. But you know, I had the opportunity the other night to have a dinner with Richard Carville and Charles Raspberry. And it was a wonderful experience to sit with both of those gentlemen who I truly consider to be lifelong mentors for me. And to see today, as I walk this campus, how their vision and their leadership has not only impacted the Department of Radio, Television, and the College of Communications, but this university. Driving up Caraway Road when I came here for the first time for this visit and finding that Caraway Road doesn't cross the railroad tracks was a real shocker for me. I got lost trying to find my way onto the campus, but finally did. And the new bridge, and it's actually now I'm accustomed to it, makes sense. But Arkansas State has changed. I left this campus in 1982 and haven't really been back for any length of time since then. I like change, and the changes here I can see are for the best and for the future, and that's what matters.